Ms. Jackson, do you want to tell me a little bit about the class of 2020?
Well, they really are. This is going to be our first class that will have students actually finishing with their AA degree.
Mm-hmm.
And we have them finishing from 2 colleges, BC and Doral. We also, this is our first year with the Collegiate Academy. And so our students will be finishing, we'll have a group of students that have completed the Collegiate Academy. And the students that a part of the academy is not just academics, but also service. And so they, one of the groups created a walk. And so we did a mental health walk, which is actually fitting for this month.
Mm-hmm.
Another group, because it's National Children's Mental Health, another group created t-shirts and sold t-shirts, and that's what I'm wearing.
Beautiful.
And so all of it was to raise money to support a cause of their choice. So they were really groundbreaking in that. Our athletics had a really good year as well. Our boys basketball team made strides towards moving towards state. And really, this class has really done an amazing job in rebounding from all of this. It's difficult for me as an adult, so I can't imagine what it is like to have such a monumental year impacted in such a way, and just to have to deal with school, work, college, because this still keeps moving.
Mm-hmm.
Making decisions for that, whatever might be going home and impacting them at home, because we understand that we are whole people, and they've really done a really good job. They're still showing up to class, they're still putting in the work, and so we are extremely proud of all of our students.
Wonderful. Yeah, I read the bios and I was overwhelmed with how much these young scholars have accomplished. I would like to speak with, I'm just going to call you out because we have a very quiet group. I don't know if it's because it's first thing in the morning or they're shy, but I don't think they're shy. But I'm going to ask Edwynn, am I saying that correctly?
Yeah.
Hi there.
Hi.
So I got teary. I don't even know you, and I got very emotional reading the bio that Mrs. McGee sent me. She says that that your attitude and aptitude for academic success as well as leadership is phenomenal.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah. So could you tell me about your experience? First of all, tell me a little bit about yourself. How old are you?
18. I just turned 18 in February.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
18. Tell me a little bit about your life at Somerset Prep North Lauderdale. When did you start?
Well, I started at that school in 3rd grade. I don't really remember any other school besides that. It's like my second home. That's all I remember. So that's like, I don't know, it's like a part of me now, I guess, because that's all I really know. Like the people there, I've known them all since I was like 8 or 9. So.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so academically, they're tough. It's a tough school. It's very demanding. Miss Jackson is smiling there, but I know it's tough love at that school.
It can be, especially with Miss Jackson.
Yeah, absolutely. So are you graduating with your associate degree?
Yes, in June.
Wonderful. And what made you want to pursue that? Because you've got a tough high school course, but let me take on dual enrollment and college courses.
Well, my mom, for the most part, when, I don't know, like for a few years, she would be working and then she went back to school after she already had me and my sister. So to see her working and in school getting her bachelor's, it was very inspiring. So it's like, if you could do that with all you had, why couldn't I do it with the little I had? So.
Wonderful, wonderful. So what did you love most about your experience at Somerset?
Somerset, I think it's the people there. the community, like everybody really knows everybody. It's so funny. Even if you don't know them personally, you recognize them. It's like and it's so local. Like you go to Walmart and you see people from school, and you're just like this, but we all have love for each other. It's just such a great experience.
So it's like a family.
Yeah.
And do the seniors are they competitive? You would say at your senior, I see someone there. You guys competitive, or do you help each other? Like, come on, let's do this together. I'll get our associates.
I think we help each other more than we're competitive. I think it's slightly competitive, but at the same time, it's just like, I want the best for all of you. Like, please go ahead and please like pass me and do better. So, yeah.
I like that. It seems to work. So Carissa, who's Carissa?
Me.
Hi there.
Good morning.
Smiled. You gave me a big smile when I said competitive. You're like, oh yeah, a little bit. So tell me about your life at Somerset. When did you start?
I started in 9th grade.
Okay.
So it was a huge transition for me because all my life I've gone to public schools. So when I first found out I was going to a charter school, I was so scared. I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to be so strict. And like, it's just going to be a huge change. And when I went to Somerset, the transition was like, because at first, like, I'm not normally a shy person, but because I didn't know anyone, I was shy. And the teachers welcomed me. Like, they were really friendly. And I learned, like, it wasn't that big of a transition, like, educational wise. Like, I thought they would be like a whole bunch of smarter, like, way ahead of my general education. And it was comforting. It was just comforting. Yeah.
Okay. Mrs. Danielle McGee said you're a comeback kid.
Yeah, I saw.
Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, because it also relates to my AA, because I'm pretty sure they mentioned how I got dropped from the program once. Because 10th grade was tough. Like, I don't know, like, I was doing the AA, but I guess it wasn't for me at the time. Like, it was mostly just for my mom. Like, I was just trying to impress her, you know? And after I dropped from the program, it really hit me, like, what happened to me doesn't really affect my mom as much as it affects me, and that I should want to get the AA for myself and not for anyone else. So that what pushed me to work harder and come back.
Okay. Were there any teachers that helped you along or encouraged you as much as your mom?
Yes. Miss Jackson, for one. She was very intimidating. And I had this teacher named Miss Johnson. She doesn't go here no more because she moved to St. Louis, but Miss Johnson really, like, helped me out at Somerset.
Okay. So what is next after high school?
I'm planning to go to St. Leo to get my master's. And then once I'm done with that, I plan on joining the 6-week program at Quantico in Virginia to become an intelligence analysis for the FBI.
Wow, such little goals. This is amazing. That's very impressive.
Thank you.
Very impressive. And I have to add that you have like a 4.7 GPA. That's
weighted.
Wait, that's amazing.
Thank you.
I'm so impressed. Christina. Where's
Hi.
Christina? Hi. Oh, I love your pink wall.
Thank
you.
Pretty.
So apparently, let's see, I love these bios. And Mrs. McGee said you're not only an athlete, but a scholar. What sports do you play?
I'm a cheerleader. I did dance for 2 years, but then I went back to cheering because my heart was more with cheering.
All right. So you were doing cheer and all of that, plus keeping up with your schoolwork. Tell me about your experience at Somerset.
I started in 5th grade, and my experience, it honestly was welcoming, and the love I got from the staff, the support, they have a great support system. Whenever I felt like I couldn't manage with work, I would just run to Miss Jackson and she'd make me like have my breakdown and then said, "Are you done? Okay, I believe in you. You're gonna get through this. You can do it." And that's honestly the best thing that could motivate me to want to keep going, because I have my moments when it's like school is so much, so hard to keep up with everything while everybody else is like going out, having fun with their friends. And I'm at home like, okay, I have to get this done. I can't go out today. I have exams. I have essays to write. So by her really looking at me and telling me, you can do this, I believe in you, that really made me get that push to keep going. So they have a great support system there.
Yeah. And it looks like it was a good preparation for what you're going through right now, because this is definitely a challenge for all of us. Did we lose Christina? Okay. Well, let's go.
Yeah,
Hope,
you're breaking.
where's Hope? Oh, there she is. We got you back. Hello?
Hello?
Hi, we can hear you.
You're going in and out a little.
Oh, am I? Let me see.
You're going in and out.
This my wireless is fine.
Is that better, Christina?
Yeah, this is much better.
Okay. Did you hear her last question?
No, what was it?
Okay.
My last question was where it was a comment that all those trials and tribulations that you went through in school leading up to your AA prepared you for what you all are going through right now, right?
Yeah.
And what you go through in college. So do you think that helped you kind of live through what we're experiencing right now?
It did. It really did.
Yeah. Anybody else at school that any other teachers or friends who motivated you?
I would say Miss Lowe. She always was a teacher who I could do when I was always down. She would always be another person who would motivate me and tell me that I can do it. Because I'm the type, I don't have the most confidence. So I would always say, oh, I'm doing this because of luck. So she would be a teacher who would tell me, no, you're doing this because you have the brains for it. So.
It's beautiful. It's true. There's a little bit of luck, but man, there's a lot of hard work. A lot of hard work. Hope, where is Hope? Is she on the phone? Hi, Hope. So Mrs. McGee said you're a wonderful person to have around. So you're smart and you're bubbly and energetic. Can you tell me about your experience at Somerset and maybe some of the highlights of
well, I started in the second half of 9th grade after transferring from American Heritage. And I started dual enrollment in, I believe, that summer after 9th grade. It was mainly because of Miss Jackson, and really the rest of the school just telling me to take the test. I didn't even know what it was for the dual enrollment test. And then they were like, oh, so now you have college classes. And I was like, oh, okay. Let me get my, right. And then it was, like they said, it was very comforting. Everybody there it's not a very big school. So everybody that's there, if you don't really know each other, you see everybody every day, you know, and it's a really family type environment. Everybody talks to each other. Everybody sees each other outside of school. Like even people that have graduated still try to come back and say hi because they miss their friends and they miss the teachers, because everybody's there is pretty nice. It's a good school.
All right. So does anybody else want to talk about how they think their experience at that school helped them to get where they are right now? Because not all schools push the dual enrollment, and it is a lot of work. So anybody want to talk about that? I know you probably all had a little bit of hesitation jumping in.
I personally liked being an intern at the school because when I first was an intern, I would complain to my mom about how I had to help all the administrators and stuff. And she was telling me in the long run, like working in the office with copy machines and like I would develop little skills that would help me in an office job in the future. And now that the year is over, I totally get what she meant because now it's like I know how to work a copy machine. I can like do a front desk job because of the little moments of me being in the front desk in the office helping out. So they teach you like life skills. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Carissa runs my office when I'm not there.
Oh.
Basically.
But on the days if I'm off campus at a meeting, I'll leave what I need done, and she'll check in if she has questions. She runs Miss Jackson's office effectively. Some might even say better than she does.
So it seems like there's a lot of trust. Do you put a lot of responsibilities on the shoulders of these students, and then there's a lot of trust as well. There's a lot of expectations. How do you ladies feel about that? Do you feel like that's a big load to carry, or you kind of move through that?
I think it's. Oh, go ahead. Oh, okay. I don't think it's too much expectation. I think because of that constant, like you can achieve so much more than you think. It's just like it gets you in the habit of being in the mindset of I can do great things and I can do better than what I'm doing. So those expectations that they set for you, they kind of become your own expectations in a way. So I don't think it's too much or overbearing. I think it's like just right.
Exactly. Adding on to what Edwynn said, I think that most of the time we don't realize how much we can do, and then the people at school are pushing us to do better. They're like, I know you can do this. I know you're smart enough to be able to do this. And even if we doubt ourselves, everybody there believes in us, which is reassuring. It's nice.
Reassuring. Do you all belong to the Ladies of Elegance too?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, that's an amazing program. Who wants to tell whoever's watching this about that program?
I first joined the program when I was in 7th grade or 8th grade. At that time, it was very small, and there was like 12 of us. But now it's like almost the whole school's population is involved. But it's always been really good. We have mentors, which are the teachers involved. So you can go to the teachers and they talk with us. They gave us little gifts on Valentine's Day. It's just the little things that they do day to day just makes everything so much better. And also, they encourage the older girls to talk to and help out the younger girls. So when I was in 8th grade, I had friends that were seniors or juniors and stuff in high school, and they kind of helped me get into high school with a little advice like just keep your head up, help build your self-confidence and stuff like that. So the program itself is really great.
Right. I believe they had a program that we were gonna do but got canceled because of the virus with all the quarantine and whatnot, where we would I think mentor the kindergartners or the first graders, something like that. And I thought that was really nice because most of them, well, not most of them, but some of them don't really have figures to look up to, or they don't really know what they want to do. And I think it would be nice for us to help them.
Yeah.
Also, one thing that I want to mention about this group as a part of a whole is most of them are on our blood drive committee. Mm-hmm. And so the blood drive, so every other month they're working to get their peers to realize the importance of donating blood and saving lives. And they, are really out there working on getting them to donate, not just for the scholarship funds that it generates, but in an effort to save lives. And they were also a part of my group last year. We had a group of students that were nicknamed my suicide squad, and they went in, and for a lot of our social emotional activities that we had, the observations that went into the elementary and the middle school classrooms, and they did a lot of the presentations because as one person, it was difficult for me to get in. And so they would work on it, and then they would divide it up, and then they would go into the homerooms and they would do the presentations, and they would run it. And so and I think that really had an impact on the younger students, because it's not just me, an adult, coming in and talking about these things, but students that attend their schools that can give them their own life experiences that are a little closer to theirs than having someone else come in.
Absolutely, because they feel they feel they're the same. They're from that community, and it's not someone speaking at them, but a peer, even if it's an older peer. I like that. So okay, so let's talk about next step. Who wants to tell me about what they're doing after Carissa? We already heard from you, but who's next?
Mm-hmm.
Hope, do you want to tell us what's next for you? What do you plan to do after graduation?
Well, I am moving to Colorado, so I'm taking a year off to try and really figure out what I want to do. But I'm mostly interested in psychology and criminology. So Carissa and I are kind of headed in the same direction towards the FBI. But I'm looking towards Colorado State University or something in that area. I'm also thinking about New York, but funding and whatnot. But I'm primarily interested in doing something with psychology, something to help people once that I graduate, so that I'm not just working to help myself. I want to impact as many people as I can.
I like that. Edwynn, do I have to call you out?
After we graduate, I'm attending Nova University in the fall. I want to get a degree in biology. I don't know if I want to become a physician assistant or a doctor. So we plan on becoming a physician's assistant first, because that's less time in school, less student loans and all that, get a job. And if I do want to go further. And I've also been thinking about joining the Navy, maybe after I get my bachelor's and I can start, wiggling in that area. The Navy and military has great opportunities in terms of clinics and different hospitals I can work at and different things I would see. So that's also an option.
Okay, for me, I will be attending FAU, and my plan is to major in health science because I'm leaning towards nursing. I find that really interesting. I've always wanted to be in that career field, so that's my plans after high school.
Wonderful. Are any of you the first in your family to graduate from college?
Yes.
I believe so.
Who is?
My mom working towards her degree, but she didn't get it yet.
Okay. Anybody else the first in your family?
Yeah, me.
And that's a really big deal. So was there pressure from the other students to kind of slack? Because you guys are very, very driven. And not everybody can make it through this program.
Right. I think there was more pressure to keep going. Like, if we even mention, like, oh, I really don't feel like doing this today, they're like, no, there's no way you could slack. Like, the way they see us, I feel like they make us feel like we're so smart. So it's just like, what are you doing? Get yourself together if we kind of start to slack. So, no, there was none of that.
They definitely kind of hold us on a pedestal. They're like, oh, you do all your work, you do all this, you're going to get your degree. But then we
a higher standard.
Like, oh, yikes. Get back on that. Got to get back to work. Got to get the degree.
Oh, but that's a lot of pressure to be a role model. But definitely you have an advantage graduating with so many college credits. So do you feel, did the thought of college was daunting before, and then once you started doing it, you're like, okay, this is doable? Miss Jackson is right.
Slightly. It was Broward and Doral are not incredibly difficult schools, but they're not too easy. So you still have to do your work. You still have to go to class. You still have to study and understand what you're trying to learn.
Yeah.
Definitely
To add on
not
to
like
what
high
Hope.
school.
Oh,
Go
you can
ahead.
go, Edward. Okay. So to add on to what Hope said, it was a change because like I remember because I joined in 9th grade. So when I first went to BC, I had my mom walk me to class and like I had her sit outside with me because like I was so scared. But then when I was actually like, when I met my teacher, he was like so cool. And then I was like, oh, this is actually not that bad. I mean, it's not like high school where they're babying you, but it's like, it was still like, it wasn't that bad. Like it was still good. Sorry for my lack of vocabulary.
I think it was very, I don't know how to describe it. Like when you get into high school, you have to adjust going from a middle school mindset into high school. So now everyone's like, high school is way different from middle school. It's gonna be harder. They expect so much of you, and then they talk the same way about college. So to do both at the same time, it's just like, well, what am I getting myself into? But when you actually start doing it, it's so fun. I would get like, I remember before the start of each new class, I would get so nervous. I'd be like, Mom, what if I don't have any like friends? Like everybody's gonna be so much older than me. No one's gonna want to talk to me because they're like just little girls in my class. But she's just like, sweetie, first of all, you're not there to make friends. But second of all, it's so fine. When everybody's there, they're just gonna want to get their work done. If anything, they're gonna be like, wow, like this little girl is here trying to get her work done and trying to do what she can to make her future better. So it's not gonna be any bad sort of situation.
Right. Sorry, to add on to what Edwin and Carissa said, I feel like transitioning from high school to college while we're still in it almost prepares you for the real world because we are in classes surrounded by adults, like 30 plus year old people that we have never met and probably will never see again. But they're also treating you like an adult while you're there. You know, you can leave class to go to the bathroom. You can walk around the campus without somebody stopping you. You can, and it's really just, it's supportive, like Somerset too. The adults there, they aren't looking down on you like you're a little kid. Like Edwin said, they are looking at you. They're like, oh, she's doing her work. She's trying to better her life. She's getting a degree. They almost support you as well. It's really nice.
I also think this experience also helped us with helping our peers because we have this class called College Success that's Miss Starks teaches, and it's basically a college class, and most of the other seniors were taking it. So it was like their first class. And I remember listening to them stress about it and like how they have to really focus in this class because it's a college credit and it's probably going to be so hard because it's different from high school. And I would have to tell them that I promise it won't be that bad. Like the transition, like it's not as complicated as you think it is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think that stops some kids too because they think of college as this other thing that this only people with a super high GPA can attend and super achievers, but it is a lot of, you do have to put the work in. Yeah. I remember my high school counselor saying to me, oh, you should go to secretarial school. College isn't for you. And I thought, why isn't college for me? I'm going to try it. So I went to community college and like you all said, oh, wait, I have to put the work in, but I can do this. Mm-hmm. So those baby steps. And you guys are so far ahead of some of your peers because some will be starting, whether it's online or in person. And it's going to be a brand new world. And for you all, you'll be like, done this. What's next? So what advice do you have for the incoming ninth graders? Should they plunge into the dual enrollment? And
I'm sorry, before you all answer,
oh, yes.
Miss Norman, can you let me in? I'm going to transition from my laptop to my phone.
Of course.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, what was the question again?
Yeah.
What advice do you have for, I don't see about letting her in. For students coming into the 9th grade that Miss Jackson comes and says, you should be doing this, try this. And if they have any hesitation, what's your advice to any students with hesitation?
That we all kind of had some hesitation at first, but once you get in, you realize that it's not as bad as you think. You know, I feel like the advice I would give would be, it is stressful and it is a lot of work, but if you really do want it, if you really want to better your future and get your degree, you can do it as long as you try. You know, there's people that'll help you. There are academic resources at Broward College that will help you. And not like you're doing it by yourself. You know, you are stressing and you're doing the work, but your professors will help you if you need it. Your peers will help you if you need it. It's not as bad as it seems, basically.
Right.
I would tell them to go for it. However, if they believe that they're not mentally prepared for it yet and they feel as if they're not ready to give up their fun weekends to go out with their friends, then I believe that they should probably hold off on it. However, if that person is willing to put in the hard work, there are going to be times when they might lose like focus and not want to do the work, but if they could manage to continue having that support system and just working towards their goal, I feel like they should go for it and get that into those classes.
I feel like because my sister just is in 9th grade now, and we've been encouraging her since the start of like last year to get into this program, like you need to get into it like ASAP. I think it's because when you're in middle school and let's say you get a C or even a D or F in a middle school class, you're already stressing about how hard high school is. So for her going into high school, she already had the mindset of like, I might struggle here, so how could I possibly go and do college classes? It's just all about encouraging them and trying to make them see that you can do anything that you want. Like if you just study, put in the work, and just invest in yourself, you can absolutely do it.
Right. There are so many students in Somerset that say they're stupid or they can't do it or they don't have the skills to do it. But it's not about intellect. It's about hard work. You know, we weren't as smart as we are now without doing all the work we've gotten up to this point. And there's nobody that's dumb. Everybody just hasn't had the opportunity to do what they want or to learn how is best for them. And I think that encouraging all the 9th graders to take the test, even if they fail, to take it again and to take it again to get the credits, because it is helpful and it does set you up for the real world. It sets you up for college, which I think is much better too. And overall, it's just a very interesting experience. It's very helpful to your life, I would say.
Miss Jackson, do you have advice for
Surely not.
younger students?
That was really profound. And what I try to get students to understand, which is that even when stuff is difficult, like you get better. We see people that excel, even students like them, and people just think that they're smart, and they are smart, and athletes are talented. But if you don't put in the practice at your craft, then you don't get better. So you can be okay and become great if you put in the deliberate practice at your craft. And I think, that's one of the things that I try to get students to understand. And so that hope that you understand that concept and try to share it with people is really very important, because
Miss, you got muted.
Yeah, your mic is off.
Oh. Something might be going on with her.
Edit.
Miss, you were muted.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all just but I can hear. Am I muted?
No,
It was like not now, but before
y'all
you
just
kind of cut off.
Conversation with myself. Just
No,
it was
but you were saying
amazing.
that the athletes are talented, but that they have to work at it, and you know, young scholars do too. It's, yes, you're smart, and there's some that have a predisposition to understand things quicker, but it is about hard work, and that seems to be the philosophy at Somerset Prep North Lauderdale. Mm-hmm. I see that a lot. That yes, you can do it. Yes, you can do it. Is Miss Jackson still there?
Yeah.
You hear us?
I am.
Oh, there
I
you
am.
go. So yeah, so that's the philosophy of the school, isn't it? I see that with the young men's mentor group, and you know, the staff is so supportive of the students, and that's why I have a fondness for this school, because there's definitely a love and an amazing amount of support for the kids you serve.
To add on about your hard work, because I was an athlete at starting 10th grade, but for the incoming 9th graders, the incoming 9th graders who also are athletes and want to do dual enrollment, it really does take a lot of hard work and dedication, because I remember struggling, like after I just came from a game, because volleyball starts like the same time fall classes start. So I'd come home from a game wanting to just go to sleep, but then I know I have to get my work done. So I'd stay up and I'd get it done. Like it takes the mental, like it's mostly mental, how you have to push to continue and make sure you try your hardest to balance both.
Adding on to what you said about the administration, I feel like Miss McGee is always pushing all of her students to do the absolute best that they can. In every assembly that we have, she says, nobody's going to tell you what to do besides you. Nobody's going to push you to do the things you need to do besides you. You need to have your back. And it's good to have a support group, but you need to understand that you can push yourself to do anything. And she's always trying to instill that in our minds and in the little kids' minds, like the kindergarten through third graders. And I think that it's really important that she does that, because it actually, some people don't pay attention in the assemblies, but it means something to those that do.
Right. Well, it definitely made an impact with this group. You had the push from home, and then you had the push from school, and you're like, okay, let's do this. All right. Well, I want to be respectful of your time. Is there anything else anybody want to add?
Ms. Glenn, can I just, and I forgot to share it, but I think it's important when, you know, we just talked about everyone's, you know, the push and the support system, but also that internal drive. Christina.
Yes.
When did you start dual enrollment?
The ending of 10th grade.
In the summer?
Yes.
And so Christina has really managed an incredible feat, and I think that it has to be acknowledged. She started in the summer of 10th grade, and so the number of courses that she had to take this school year and in the summer in order to finish with her AA, and that was her decision. We sat down, we mapped out what exactly it would take, how many courses she would have to take, how hard and difficult it might be. And I always encourage them, but because of the magnitude of it, I left it up to her. You know, we don't have to get the AA. We can just get as many college credits as we can, because, you know, we are really have far to go to get 60 credits. But if you want to try for your AA, then I am here to help you try. And she did it, and she did an amazing job of it. And I just think it's important to acknowledge that, because that's not an easy feat to really earn the 60 credits in 2 years while going to high school.
While going to school, and yes, absolutely, yes.
And cheering.
And that is a lot of hard work, and quickly, yeah. And we have to add too that the other incentive is because it doesn't cost the student anything to get those college credits, correct? So that's also an incentive to get those credits under your belt and a 2-year degree. It's beautiful. Well, congratulations, Christina. Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
amazing to do that in a short period of time.
Thank you.
All right. Does anybody want to add anything?
I just wanted to say that I'm thankful for all of my, like, Christina, Edwin, Hope, and Miss Jackson, because I know if I was like the only one to be doing this, the pressure would be way too intense for me to carry. And it was like, if one of us had the same class, we would help each other out. And it was just, it just took off so much.
Right.
I'm really thankful that we had each other.
Were you all friends this close before you started the dual enrollment?
I think Christina and Carissa were friends, and Edwin and I, we all kind of came
Together.
Yeah, I was friends with like, but it wasn't as close, because once I realized we were taking the same thing, it was like, oh my gosh. So we'd spend more time together working on the assignments and stuff.
We'd have a lot of research classes together. We would like do our work next to each other, help each other out.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful.
It's definitely a good
easier.
support.
Yeah, that support is key. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for chatting with me. I will let Ms. Jackson know when I'm going to post this interview, and I'll also write something. I'm going to ask her to share my email with you, and please, when you get your cap and gowns, do you have your cap and gowns? Are you
No.
Not yet.
Oh, okay. Well, send me some kind of graduation photo. I know this is a weird time. You're the first to graduate under these odd circumstances, but please send me photos so I can post them and share your story.
Will do.
Okay. Thanks for talking with me today.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.